My name is Caleb Giddings. As the marketing manager for Taurus USA, I was sent to FTW Ranch in Texas to put our newest creation through its paces. For me, this will be a whole new experience as I learn from some of the best long-range instructors in the world, culminating in an axis hunt on this sprawling 12,000-acre ranch.
There it is.
This is the Taurus Expedition.
Hey! Oh crap, right there, take him! Again! Good, move over, take the next one. Nice. There it is.
And the light is going. Maybe 2 minutes of light left.
It wasn't a lot.
Let's shoot that thing.
Reload. Dude, he dropped like a stone.
Located 2.5 hours west of San Antonio, the FTW Ranch is part wild game hunting, part firearms training, and part first-class resort. Upon arrival, I was greeted by the owner, Tim Fallon, and my instructor, Dave Knesek, and I promptly brought them up to speed on the new Taurus Expedition rifle.
Caleb, how are you?
Good.
Welcome
Nice
to the
to meet you.
FTW.
Nice to meet you, Tim. All right.
What you got?
I've got our new bolt gun, the Taurus Expedition.
Nice.
Hey Tim, who do we got here?
Well, this is Caleb with Taurus.
Hey Caleb, Dave Knesek.
Nice to meet you, Dave.
I'll be one of the instructors with you on the
Right
range.
on. Looking forward to it. This is our new bolt gun, the Taurus Expedition. It's the first ever bolt-action rifle that Taurus has made.
What caliber is this in?
This is a 308, 18-inch barrel, so we tried to keep it a little bit compact, but still have enough barrel to get good terminal ballistics out of that 308 round.
Do you have bipod or anything that you brought with it?
Yeah, I did. So I like to run the Spartan Precision bipods just because they're light. The gun itself is designed that you can run a hog saddle. We've got an M-lock attachment point, and then the Spartan Precision bipod, we actually just built it into the stock for the attachments. You just...
They'll even take a Harris.
Yep.
Yeah.
We could put a Harris on the front,
Yeah.
or we could put, I see, like you were saying, the stock nice and smooth right there for our positional shooting and things.
You put the flats on the side for the, like the death grip bipod, tripod?
Yeah, the hog
Okay.
saddle guys, you can really clamp it down so you don't get any of that lateral rotation out of the gun.
What type of magazine does it take?
It's got the Accuracy International pattern magazine. So these are 5-rounders, and then obviously you can get more capacity if it's legal or that's what you want for the gun. They're all threaded from the factory. We figured it's 2024. Everybody wants suppression.
Yep.
We want to do things the easy way. So nobody wants to buy a rifle and then be like, oh man, I bought a suppressor. Now I got to go get my rifle threaded. Just do it right there. And it's normal thread pitch for 30 cal, right? So the 5/8 by 24, I think is what that is.
Right.
So you don't have some weird European thread pitch or something goofy on there. Kind of the idea behind this was don't reinvent the wheel, right? I don't want to sell you a bolt gun and then you have to go buy new mounts, new bases, new accessories. So this is a Remington 700 mount. The stock is will accept short action Remington 700s. The trigger, you could do an aftermarket Remington 700 trigger in here as well.
Is that a replaceable bolt handle?
It is, yeah. Yep, bolt handle's replaceable. It's held inside by 2 Allen keys.
Okay.
And it's got a short throw, so you've got not a lot of angle on this.
Right.
So if you want to run it hard, run it fast, you can really actually run this gun quickly.
So 3-lug bolt?
3-lug bolt, yeah. That was where we deviated from the Remington pattern. We want to just give people a little bit more engagement, a little bit more positivity on that.
Let's take it out to the range and see how it does.
All right, let's get it set up.
Go enjoy shooting.
Thank you very much, sir.
Welcome
Looking
again.
forward to it.
Thank you, sir.
I'm Dave Knesek, and I've been here at FTW for going on about 10 years now. Prior military, I grew up here in Texas and hunting, fishing my whole life. Joined the Navy in 1994 and served as a Navy SEAL for 20 years. I retired in 2014 and found the FTW Ranch.
You heard that right. David is a retired U.S. Navy SEAL with 20 years of experience leading teams in high-risk environments. I think I'm in good hands.
I was a sniper as well in the military and was able to transition over here really well with a hunting background, a background in firearms and marksmanship, and started off teaching our precision courses. Your objective lens, your image is coming through that lens. Your elevation, our up and down corrections, we got that. Our windage, it's over here on the other side. Next, your magnification. How much magnification do we need?
Depends on the job. If I'm hunting elephant or buffalo, I'm gonna have low end magnification. I'm expecting a close engagement. I want 1 power, 2 power, something on the low end. And I don't need something so much on the high end. Sheep hunt, I'm gonna want something more on the higher end. But for what we do out here, whether it's target shooting or whether it's hunting sheep, deer, elk, 3.5 to 18-ish range works good for me.
We're on a 4-day precision course. The first day we've started today and we've done some classroom training, minutes, mills, scopes, rifles, ammunition, those types of things. We went through a cleaning procedure.
So I'm pretty sure everybody knows how to clean a gun. Yes, no, maybe? However you decide to clean your gun though, just like shooting, just do it the same way all the time. If you change stuff throughout the day as you're shooting, you're gonna get different results. If you clean your gun one way today and another way tomorrow and another way, some other time, you're gonna see that you're gonna get some different results. I noticed it on my 300 PRC. I used a cleaner that took a lot of the brass out on one cleaning cycle, and then the next time that I shot it, it took about 20, 25 rounds before the gun tightened back up again, shooting like a 1/2 or 3/4 inch groups. Where when I was cleaning it with this method, just with that particular gun, I didn't notice, I only had like 1 or 2 fouling shots and I was back ready to go. So anyway, whatever you decide to do, I'd figure out a method that works good for you and just stick with it. The main thing that we have to learn to do is to acquire targets and find targets on high power. Like if you're shoot 200, reload, dial up, and then shoot the 400. You guys gonna do that a bunch of times while you're out here. You gotta shoot one distance to the next distance. And the thing folks will struggle with usually the most is finding that second target. They're on high power, they've shot that one, they've hit it, and then they're like, so they're in the scope, and they're like, they just shot that one, they're like, they've reloaded, and they're like, rock and trees and rocks and trees and more rocks and trees, and they're like, they're zooming in, they're zooming out, and by that time, we're counting in the background, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, I can't find it. So being able to find targets quickly is important, and we'll show you some techniques on the range. But better than just staring through your scope, I've engaged my first target, I look over there, I see my second target. And maybe I don't see the small plate, but I see the berm that the target rack is in front of. I can see that, or that big tree or a big rock that's right next to it. I can see that. Like, I know where the next target is. So I've shot, I see the next target, put the gun over it with a good cheek weld, and if I sight right over the top of my scope, using this as a front sight, and then just drop my head in, that's a much faster method.
The instructors here at FTW Ranch are really great. They are able to easily encapsulate what's like kind of complicated math into a way that a meathead like me can understand it, and again, hopefully be able to take it out to the range and apply it.
You were 5 inches high at 100 yards. You were 5 minutes high. Now you're 5 inches high at 500 yards. Okay, 5 inches high at 500 yards, 5 divided by 5, you're 1 minute high. So he's 500 yards away, and I know, as I'm looking at it, the wind is blowing from right to left. And if I don't correct for it, if I just aim right there in the crease of the shoulder, I'm gonna impact over here somewhere. I need to hold 2 minutes to the right.
And this was really insightful for me since I'm prepping for a hunt in Africa later this year to be able to really understand how the rifle and the scope work together as a system and doing things that I've never really done before, like dialing for elevation, dialing for windage. So I've kind of got all of that in theory now, and what's next today is I'm actually gonna get to apply it on the range in practical applications.
We're done almost. All I gotta do now is explain this range card to you, hand them out, and then we can go clean guns and shoot.
I just finished cleaning the Taurus Expedition in preparation for taking it out to zero it. So to give you guys a quick rundown, we wanted to make sure our scope's clean, wipe down the lenses, all of that stuff. And then we're gonna clean the chamber, clean the actual bore of the rifle, and then we're gonna clean the inside of the receiver, all of which I've done. Now, when we head out to the range, we're gonna find out if I need to take a couple of fouling shots to dial this back in before I go and get my true zero.
And then once I've put the gun away, I'm gonna put a lot of oil back on it. and I'm just gonna put it in the cabinet like that.
I'm looking forward to shooting. You know, I am a shooter first, and the thing that appeals to me about hunting and about this sort of stuff is applying complex marksmanship skills, doing things in novel ways that I haven't done before. So, you know, once we get out of the classroom, which is great, the opportunity to pull triggers is really what I'm looking forward to. The FTW Ranch offers 26 diverse ranges located throughout the property. Several marksmanship ranges offer hunting targets out to 500 yards, in addition to steel target ranges up to 1,000 yards. But first, we're going through the fundamentals to get this course started off on the right foot.
All right, let's take one shot at the center diamond. If we're on paper, we're gonna go ahead and continue on with two more shots. Okay, we're on paper. Let's go 2 more shots, and we'll see. So we're a little high and right, but that's okay. Right now, we're gonna make sure that the gun's grouping. If it is, then we're gonna make an adjustment. Oh yeah, really close to your other one, but that one's a little low. See where your third one goes. Nice. Every group that you've shot's gotten smaller and smaller and smaller.
With the Expedition, this was super easy. Once I shot a group through it to foul the barrel again, I shot a couple of sub-MOA groups, got a nice 0 at 100 yards, and then the instructors had me dial using the elevation turret on the top of the Leupold scope to get on target at 200 yards. And that was confirming that the gun was correctly zeroed and that our elevation was going to be good to go.
We just had to make a little elevation and windage to get down to here, and you did. I was observing just your group sizes from this group to this group to this group. Okay, nobody saw that.
Yeah, we ignore that one again. No,
but I mean, the groups are tightening up really well.
Yeah, the gun likes to be shot in a little bit. Once you get a few rounds, because we cleaned them today, so once I got a few rounds through it, the groups have tightened up nicely, so.
We built the range card, and we just before lunch now, we've got the turrets, everything's slipped to 100-yard 0, jumped out to 200, working right there. After lunch, we're gonna take it out to 700.
Up next, I'm gonna take the Expedition and we're gonna push that thing all the way out to 700 yards. That will be the furthest I have ever shot a rifle, so I'm very excited to even make the attempt at a 700-yard shot. And honestly, I think with the Expedition being as accurate as it is and the S&B ammo shooting really clean, really straight, I'm gonna be able to make it. I'm sure you've noticed by now, the bomb-ass Jeeps FTW has to transport their students and hunters. Not gonna lie, I was pretty happy to be cruising around the beautiful Texas countryside.
The range here, guys, goes from 100 yards, where we're gonna check our zeros, all the way out to 700 yards. So just down and to the shooter's right, we've got the 100-yard targets. And then the first piece of steel for you guys will start at 200 yards. And then every 50 yards, the range is gonna go out. We'll have 250, 300, 350, 400, and so on until we get out to 700 yards. So both shooters have a range card like this, and it has the ranges, and it's got your elevations on it. So we've based this off of just box velocity on these rounds. One of our main objectives today, after the zeros are finalized, is to get out to 700 yards. And what our prediction was at 700, we're gonna shoot and see if the card matches reality. If it doesn't, if it does, great. If it does not, then we're gonna write that number down, whatever our elevation is, we're gonna write it on our cards, and we'll take it back to the lodge tonight, and we're gonna rerun your numbers, and we'll have a customized card for you in the morning for that rifle, that scope, and that load. Line's hot. Caleb, you go ahead and give us a 3-round group on yours. Yours should be really good.
Copy that.
Caleb, you got to dial up for 200.
Got it. One on the big, one on the little.
Yep.
On target.
Spotters up. Caleb, you see where it hit?
Yep.
That's the wind on your right shoulder.
Got it.
See how much it moved. So you need to hold the right portion. We'll go for that small right target.
On
You're gonna be
target.
holding the right edge. Spotters on. Hold it. Impact, got them both. Elevation is perfect. Got a little bit of wind deflection, but that's it. All right, so let's get Caleb on the 300. 300 is right behind that target. Yellow plates. All right, Caleb, what do you think?
On target.
Okay, hold center, big plate. You held center on both of those, is that true?
No, I held right edge on the second one.
And it barely hit. Okay, so try the big plate one more time. Let's see if we can get an impact closer to center. And Caleb, your next one's gonna be 400, the green one. All right, Caleb, big plate is in the middle.
Big plate in the middle, on target.
Okay, spotter's on. Right. Now we've got a left wind. See how quick that changed? This is gonna be 2 shots. One at your first yard line. We're simulating the animal runs to your second yard line at 300. So first shot, big plate 250. Follow that up with your second shot, yellow at 300.
On it.
Spotter's ready. Impact, running to 300. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, just off the bottom left corner.
All right, so we just finished this process called truing up the rifle. And what we did here was we shot all the way out to 700 yards to make sure that the initial range card that was provided to me was accurate for the elevation adjustments that I would need to make to go from 100 out to 200. Then what we're gonna do, now that we've taken all of this fantastic data, we're gonna take this data, we're gonna go back and we're gonna readjust the range card so that when we're doing this for real, whether it's on more steel targets or on an animal, I'll be able to actually dial and have the correct elevation put into the gun. We closed it out with a fun little 1-2 exercise where you had to bang one plate, quickly load another round into the chamber, transition to another plate, and hit that. For me, that was the most fun because that was the most similar to the type of shooting that I'm used to doing. And I found that my success rate went up when I stopped thinking so much about perfect breath, perfect trigger, and all of that, and just focus on actually executing the shot. I'll start with a question. How many rounds do people normally shoot when they do this thing?
You could be here for a 2-day course or for a 4-day course. And in 4 days, we'll go through about, 60 rounds a day.
Okay.
Something like that, and then the beginning, it starts off a little slower, so I'd expect to shoot 200, 240 rounds.
Okay.
We've got kids that come here that are 9 years old and people that have been hunting for their whole life, and they're very experienced. They've been on 20 or 30 safaris. So it's for everybody, from a real basic skill level to the most advanced skill level. And just like when we started, our first training event was in the classroom.
Yep.
And that's how we start every time. And we'll do a couple hours of training, get everybody on the same sheet of music, all the nomenclature, all the scope stuff, minutes, mils, how do I read my range card, all those types of things like that. And then into the cleaning locker, this is a way to clean a gun. And then at lunchtime, by the time it's lunch on the first day, we've got all the guns zeroed and ready to go. And we're ready for the afternoon shoot, just to get out there and verify the range cards. Getting started, we're gonna do, the main emphasis is on, we'll call external ballistics. So internal ballistics, fire pins hit the primer, and the powder's burning, and the bullet's pushing down the barrel, and it hasn't left the muzzle yet, internal ballistics. Now the bullet is out into the atmosphere, it's in the wind, it's flying to the target, external ballistics. Hits the target and starts doing things, terminal ballistics. Did I get all that right? So we're gonna talk about, what is the wind gonna do to the bullet? Does it, for our range yesterday, the wind was in our face, but then that I used to think, well, heck, that'll be better because then, all right, if the wind's straight at me, it's not blowing my bullet off left or right, I'm just gonna be shooting straight at the center of the plate. Well, yes, but the wind doesn't blow straight at me. The wind goes like this a little bit, and then it's like this a little bit, and it's like this, and you're trying to make corrections, and it's just continuing to screw with you. Instead of if you guys were shooting that direction, the wind is just shifting like this, you don't notice that much of a difference and what's happening to the bullet just based on what the wind, just the change in direction of the wind. So anyway, we're gonna discuss all that stuff about wind, a little bit on what about if I shoot uphill, downhill, how does that affect anything? And what we were just talking about as far as what about when I go to a different spot? If I'm in Montana, or if I'm in Florida, or if I'm in Africa, what is this card that we've made here going to work in those environments as well?
Yesterday we were out on the range. I had the Expedition and we pushed it out to 700 yards And dealing with the wind from 250 to 700 was a pretty complex problem because we had significant gusts. So of course today is when we learned how to deal with the wind, the day after I had to deal with it. But it was nice because it allowed me to contextualize and sort of understand what I observed on the range yesterday. And now I've got a method for actually analyzing it and dealing with it. And as a pistol shooter, as someone who shoots a lot, but at short range compared to what these rifles are at, I can tell you if I tried to then take what I learned today and I don't know, go to Salem in the 1600s and explain it, they would burn me at the stake, all right? Wind calls to me seem to be part magic and part science, and the blend of getting it right is gonna be really interesting to see how that goes on the range today.
We're gonna play around at 1,000 yards and see if we can get some impacts. We've got our dope for Caleb. We've got the, what are we shooting here? 308 with the Hornady Black, 155 grade AMAX, loaded that into the Kestrel. We came up with 47.25 minutes, and we're gonna be holding 7 minutes left. We'll go three shots from Caleb, and we'll see how we do.
Sounds great.
All right, everybody ears on, line's hot. All right, Caleb, spotter's up at 1,000. Okay, it's short, I believe. Kind of just disappeared in that tree.
Yep.
Now we're gonna go halfway up that on your crosshair. Try another one. I didn't get a great splash off of it. Where did you hold that time?
I had the reticle at the top of the tip of the crosshairs right on the top of the target.
Can you
so I'm going
see
to aim for the top of the target frame, I think.
Okay, you can see that crossbar?
Sure can.
All right, let's go for that. Did you hear that?
It hit something.
All right, I see your trace. Do you have another point of aim?
Basically, I'm going to bracket the tip of the dirt pile
Yep.
in the bottom left corner of the crosshair, right?
Yep.
So if I make a square around that and use it as my reference, that'll get me high and it'll give me a consistent reference point.
Okay, I got you. All right, spotter's up. There it is, about an inch over the plate.
Okay.
Okay, repeat. Don't change anything, just do that again. I wouldn't change nothing. Right over it, about an inch high. You're just right over the top edge.
Let's go.
I didn't see splash on the dirt anywhere. I just came off the scope. I'm like, listen, 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 ding.
Yep. 1,000 yards with the Taurus Expedition rifle. Check. Speaking of bombs, FTW has their own cannon.
Sometimes cannons are fired in war and sometimes in celebration. Today it's in celebration. And here's to God bless America, God bless our troops, our first responders.
Yeah, that might be one of the coolest things I've seen in a while.
And we're gonna be cold here for the next, say, 5 or 10 minutes. I'm gonna run through a demo. I'm gonna use Caleb's rifle, and we're gonna cover sitting, kneeling, and standing, because this afternoon, well, this evening anyway, we're gonna start a hunt. We're gonna be hunting for axis deer. And if we can get onto an axis deer in a prone position, just like you are right now, then that'll be awesome. But we're gonna be out here in this country that you see that we've been driving around in. So we may find ourselves in some mountain laurel, cedar, or whatever, and we might just not be able to get prone and see the target. So you might have to do a sitting shot. If the vegetation is too much, we might have to do kneeling. We might have to do standing. So we need to see how far we can engage targets in those positions. And I'll give you a couple of pointers along the way as to how that you can stabilize your position more. Acceptable reticle movement. This is going to be the challenge for this evening. We're going to focus on two things: bone support and natural point of aim. So right now, if I'm like this and I let the gun just face naturally where it wants to go, I'm not pointing at the target, right? But I don't want to force it in that direction. I want to change my whole body position until the natural point of aim is right there at the target. And then the bone support's coming from the pockets of my knees right here. And I'm not using muscle support, that would be going like that. That's a lot of muscle tension. So by using bone support, by having good natural point of aim, I'm getting muscle relaxation. So in the sitting position, some people will be able to do this and it works well for them. Others, hips and knees don't work like this anymore. So some people might find it more comfortable just to have their legs out in front of them like this a little bit more with the back of their arms on their shins. That's okay. Some people aren't going to be able to do that either. We get it. That's fine. Some people are going to be like this. They'll just dig their heels in and they'll just be kind of in an open-legged position like so. Whatever works good for you. We're both right-handed shooters today. If there's one takeaway that I can tell you to try to remember, it's going to be find something to support the right side of your body. Right arm support, right elbow support. That's going to minimize the reticle movement on target. People will very commonly look for horizontal support. That's going to be this. The earth right now is giving me horizontal support. That table beside me would give me horizontal support. These shooting sticks are going to give me that horizontal support. But you ever heard of, they say like a figure eight? My wobble looks like a figure eight. Mm-hmm. So that's because there's a side-to-side component and there's an up and down component. So it wobbles in like a figure eight. As soon as I place the rifle though on the sticks, I've taken that part of the wobble out. But what do I still have? This stuff, right? So you got the side-to-side wobble. That's why the right elbow support. If I find something to lock the right side of my body down on, that's gonna stabilize your position a great deal. Just my body, just my knee right here is gonna be the first thing that I'll use. So we're not gonna shoot completely unsupported. We're gonna shoot sticks, but you still need to figure out which position is gonna work for you. So moving on to those. So I've got the shooting sticks. When you're setting them up, I want them, if I'm gonna be seated, kneeling, standing, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna have them adjusted, pre-adjusted to about that high, right about chest high, because when I put the gun inside of the yoke of the shooting sticks, my scope's gonna be right in the right height for me, and I'm not constantly messing with the legs. If I'm shooting in this direction, instead of putting your shooting tripod like this, and when you have recoil, you got a lot of pivot, I just prefer put the front stick out in front of me like so, and then as I shoot, I'm gonna get recoil like this, and things are going back into their natural spot. When we're shooting prone, this all takes care of itself. Your arms are on the ground. Now that I've got them up here, I don't really need the shooting glove anymore for this backhand because I don't need the backhand here anymore. I've got my elbow on that knee. This hand is really kind of free at this point. What I like to do is just I'll grab the bipod, I just lock it together right there on that tripod, just like that. That's where it's gonna hold that together. And then if this was this way, I found a rock at say 200 yards, let's see how much movement I got. Probably like 6 to 9 inches. I have no stability under this arm. As soon as I bring this leg in like so, then put my elbow onto my knee and get it locked into place, I feel like I've decreased that wobble already down to like 3 or 4 inches. Now, if we did not have an artificial or natural rest, your kneeling position would look like this, right? So I need bone support, natural point of aim, muscle relaxation. So if it was a speed kind of a thing, 60 yards, 100 yards, 80 yards, something like that, that might be all I need. And I might need to be quick. But if it's beyond that, I'm probably gonna need something else. But my rear end is sitting down on my foot. I'm not up like this. If you're up like this, do you see where the muscle tension is? Like this thigh right here. I don't know how long I can stay like that. It's kind of like doing the air chair. And you're gonna start to be shaking to get in the sewing machine leg. So I would sit down on there. Some people have their toes down. Some people find that to be comfortable. I don't know what's wrong with their skeletal structure because this hurts. Okay, I prefer to have the toes like this, butt right here, legs kind of in a 90-degree angle, and we're supported. All right, we're gonna take that same information and just apply it to the sticks. So I'm gonna stay just like this. Then that bipod, the way I showed you before, I do it the same exact way. So I don't have what? I don't have what?
Right side support.
Yep, I don't have any right side support, and I don't have any gear that's really gonna give that to me right now. All I don't have any of this. This is just what I have. What do I do to get right elbow support?
Switch which, knees down.
Yep, just switch your legs. This guy's now unemployed, right? It used to do that. Tripod took its job. Switch your knees, do a reverse kneel, everything else the same. And now you've got support under your elbow, and you're gonna find that's gonna help stabilize that side to side wobble. Right, now I can shoot flat. I can shoot a little bit downhill, or a lot downhill, flat. And if I gotta go uphill, I'll normally just turn my foot like that, and that changes the launch angle of that rifle. Last one, standing. All right, so we'll extend these out. Bipod same, still squeezing it together right there. I'm gonna be square to the target. The weight of my body weight is on the balls of my feet, or up there on my toes. Slightly leaning into the tripod just to give me, ooh, easy now, just to give me a little bit of recoil management. If I'm up like this, I'm standing too straight, I don't have good recoil management. Just leaning forward into your tripod just a little bit. Whew, if I don't fall down the mountain. All right, so this is good, and I have reticle movement, but I don't have so much up and down. I got the side-to-side reticle movement. So I'm gonna need to have something to stabilize the right side of my body. So let's see, Caleb, will you give me a hand?
Yeah.
So here's the trick. Take your left hand, and with your thumb down, just grab this for me. Perfect. Look at there, I've already got a little rest right here. My arm's gonna go on this, and quickly, without any extra gear, I've stabilized that position. Probably cut the wobble down in half. Now, if you keep drinking Red Bull all day, yeah, it might not help. But to get a little bit extra support, that thing is, whatever it is, he's 150 yards out. I feel okay, but I'm not perfect. It's like, get over here, grab these sticks, and boom. You can get over there and, okay, yeah, that's it. That's perfect, and boom. Now, I'll give you a little safety tip. Guys on a 375, and you do that, and he has his elbow right here, and your throat is right there. I've been hit right in the Adam's apple. But the way you positioned yourself, you're perfectly safe, especially with this rifle. Not a lot of recoil that's gonna cause it to need to give you one of those in the throat. All right, push on out. We're going from 200 to 250 reds. Same drill. Left. Okay, one more attempt, and then we're gonna modify that position. There it is. Impact, perfect elevation, slightly on the left side of the target. Seated position, moving into kneeling. We start back at 200 yards.
200 yards.
All right, we're gonna go, Caleb, we're gonna go big plate, little plate. Spotters on. 6 o'clock. Just a bit off the bottom edge. Re-engage that plate. There you go, that's a hit. And you find you got more or less reticle movement in this position.
I'll have more reticle movement in this position than I did in the seated position, that's for sure.
Big plate first, Caleb. Spotter is ready. Can you tell?
Nope.
Just off the 6 o'clock. And I bet you've got some reticle movement going on.
Sure do.
The trick is trying not to time the shot.
Yep.
Right, slow application of pressure. The crosshairs are moving a bit, but they're staying on the target, and just continue to press the trigger through the wobble. 6 o'clock. We've had a couple a little bit low. I'm on it if you're ready. Impact. That was right edge. I'm gonna try one other technique.
Yep.
For this scenario, off of a rock downhill, we were in the bottom shooting uphill.
Right.
Now we're up on the top of a hill shooting down in the canyon. So just at our 12 o'clock in the bottom, low ground, you'll see a clearing, a road that's running left and right through it. Just behind that road, red target with an animal target next to it.
Yep, I can see the red target from up here.
Distance is 430 yards.
430, okay.
So figure it out. Figure out how to build your house on this rock.
All right, let's build a nice position here.
We'll start to discuss the wind as well.
Yeah, there's some kind of wind up here on the top of this hill.
I think it's obviously behind us.
Mm-hmm.
Not straight behind us though, I feel it more on my left shoulder. So I'm gonna say a 7 o'clock wind. Oh, 10, maybe 10 gusting to 15.
Yeah, that sounds about right. So that'd give me about an effective wind of what, about
Well,
5 miles an hour?
Yep, 50% if it's coming from 7 o'clock. So 50% of 10, 5 miles an hour at 400 yards. So we're gonna be holding about 2 minutes left.
I concur.
Well, there was a gust. I might go 3 minutes on that one.
Remember the witchcraft I mentioned earlier? This witchy brew consists of ballistic data, wind values, and compensation in the form of a range card. These details are the genesis of what long-range accuracy is all about.
Impact. Now go to the doll sheep. And impact 6 o'clock. You got the wind just perfect. Both impacts were a little bit low.
Yep.
At 6 o'clock, but your wind correction was perfect.
Nice.
So it's golfing with guns, if you will.
It
right?
really was.
So you get to a shooting position. We designate the targets. They're at odd, different yard lines. You make your 2 shots. Either they're successful or they're not. But whatever the case is, you've learned something. All right, Caleb. At this stage, we're going to use this log.
All right.
We're going to have a target just down in front, 310 yards.
I see it.
Red dot, ibex on the right-hand side.
Okay. One of the great things about training at FTW is not only the top-notch instruction, it's also the ability to shoot from virtually any position at any distance on any terrain imaginable.
So that looks like it works good. I mean, one thing that I'm looking for, 2 things actually, when I approach a position, I'm looking for something to support the rifle on and something for the right side of my body, which you've accomplished.
Yep.
The other thing is, in this position, sometimes the bipod interferes. It's a hard bipod on this hard log. It's kind of walks around a little bit. So you had the Spartan bipod on there, you pulled it off, use that pad in the front, and that's gonna be a lot more stable. That's a good advantage as well.
Yeah, I think this will be a pretty nice position.
Is that stable enough?
Yeah, I think so. So we've got the target at about 300-ish yards.
310.
310, all right. Let's take a poke at it.
All right, red plate first, then the ibex.
Both the Expedition rifle and my long-range shooting skill set were getting the best workout we could ask for.
On target.
Spotter's ready. Good, impact, go to the goat. Okay, go for the kill zone on the goat. And impact 7 o'clock on the kill zone. Impact, reload, and now the animal.
After 3 days of training long range, I finally got to do something a little more high speed. FTW features several moving targets to help train for fast target acquisition in the wild.
This is the charging scenario for buffaloes. It's gonna be a 3-shot course of fire.
Okay.
You see one buffalo's laying down. When he stands up, that signals the range to go hot. You shoot that buffalo. The 2 other ones are gonna start charging. You have to shoot both of those buffaloes before they get to you.
Easy enough. Well, we'll find out.
So dangerous game. A couple of things I always check out on the rifle. Well, when I load it, go ahead and load if you would. I always crack that chamber just to make sure it picked up a round. It's not a whitetail, it's something that actually might kill me. Always look at my elevation, make sure it's dialed down right. Magnification, this is close in work, so you've obviously got it all the way dialed down. And you have illumination?
You know, I do have illumination. Let's pop that on here real quick.
So that can be pretty handy in these types of scenarios as well.
Go to the highest setting. There we go.
All right, get my ears on. We're locked and loaded and ready.
All right, let's go. We are ready on this one.
All right, stand by.
Walking through the...
There's a big one, take him. Excellent, reload. Good, move over, take the next one. Excellent. And he's down.
After the charging buffalo, we did more work with pop-up targets over natural terrain.
Good, he's running to the left by that bush. Excellent, reload. Let's ease forwards. See if we see anything else. I hear something out in front of us. Right there, a warthog. Good, hit him again if you can.
I went away.
Okay, let's see if he's dead. Oh, we got one more. Again. Ah, both of them. Nicely done. All right, that's the first of 3 stages. We got more of that to do,
All right, let's go.
as long as you want to.
Oh no, I hate shooting fast.
We're gonna head down this trail and see if we can find a bongo.
In Texas.
In Texas, that's right.
Texas bongo.
Oh, there you go, right there on your right. Moving to the left, moving to your left on the trail. Again. Oh, almost. Let's go see if you got him. And they'll say a lot of times, you learn more from a miss than you do from a hit.
Oh, certainly.
Right.
Yeah, and I had plenty of misses. So
And you learned a lot.
yeah, I definitely learned a lot. Well, and I think a big part of that, this experience that's been so fun for me is again, and I've talked about this a lot, but taking myself out of my comfort zone, you know, and there would be times where I would have a really good first shot and then I would transition to a new distance and I would completely forget to dial. I would have the fundamentals down, I would have a good position, I'd be stable, I'd have a great trigger press, and I'd spike a bullet low or something like that because I forgot to adjust for the fact that that second target's 150 yards further out or 100 yards or whatever it is.
I hope you got a nice sized checkbook because bongos aren't cheap. And you just got 3.
All right, let's go.
All right, stand by, here we go.
Here we go.
Oh crap, right there, take him. Again, hit him again. Okay. Oh, I thought you were gonna get another one of them. All right, there's still more dangerous stuff. You wanna top off? I would.
Let's do a little tack
reload.
Yeah.
You got a box mag, you might as well.
Right, now you can get 5+1.
All right, let's see how fast you are. All right, this last animal's pretty tough.
All right, let's go
All
get
right,
him.
I'm gonna stay here and I'm gonna let you approach the cave.
Okay.
Oh my God, take him! It's a T-Rex! Shoot him again! Let's go, kill him! All right, he's going down. Think you got him. You saved our life.
Fun.
Man, we have been looking for somebody to kill that thing for like 2 years.
Now that the fun and games are over, the business of getting an axis deer on the ground can begin. With 115 miles of 4-wheel drive access and another 45 miles of ATV-only roads, we will have to cover some ground to find an axis deer that will cooperate.
I'm gonna pull up like this behind this tree, and then that'll kind of hide our Jeep from the main things that are close.
With all of the training I was fortunate enough to receive from Dave, I didn't leave much time for hunting.
All right, if you follow me, I know where we're going.
Fortunately for me, the guides at FTW spotted a deer in an area that Dave was really familiar with, and we were able to put a stalk on right away.
In order not to break brush, we would walk to the right a little bit, and there's a clearing that would drop down.
Yep, I see that.
They would drop down one level, and then just scan right about 50 yards. You see the trees immediately below them?
Yeah.
And then immediately below the trees, there's another clearing. They're right in that clearing.
With the light getting low and the deer at over 900 yards, we needed to be fast on our feet to get close enough for a shot.
Down in the bottom, there's a feed silo.
Okay.
If you drew a line straight up from there to the biggest white circle, right in the middle of that.
Okay.
And we'd spot them on the side of that hill, and then we had to maneuver on it. We knew we were losing the light.
Yep.
And we're like, okay, we need to make this stalk happen, pretty quick. So not only am I getting excited, my heart's racing.
Yep.
Because I'm walking up this hill, and I actually might have been jogging a little bit at one point, because I knew we were on the clock. The clearing right here, right on that band. Hopefully we can make it down this trail, make a shot straight across. Yep, they're still there. I see 3 doe. Distance, still 500. We're watching the sun just start to hit behind that mountain. Looked at where the axis deer was. It's like, man, I don't know. That's going to be a poke, I think I was anticipating 450 something. I'm like, man, I hope we're going to be able to get a little closer. We got to the final little ledge where it's like, that's it. That's as far as we can go.
Right, we had
and
it.
It was like, and the sun's going down. How bad do you want it?
We got to the ledge and there
It
was
was like
a
this.
40-foot canyon full of pricker bushes in between us and the finger. And I will say, the deer was very obliging that he decided to turn and come in towards us.
That's why they call it
run
hunting.
Off,
Yeah, that's why it's hunting. He had a vote, and lucky for us, he chose
voted
to turn.
wrong.
He turned right instead of turning left, and he closed the distance in. Your call. It's got the light and everything. If you got enough light and you're comfortable with the shot, just let me know. But we'll wait
until he's broadside. So you're gonna be about, there's just a little breeze, only like, I wouldn't even worry about the wind at all right now at this distance.
And my only option to shoot this thing to get stable is to get into a prone position where my back is, where I'm bent in a U shape. My legs are higher than my head on the back of this hill.
Reload, reload, reload. Get on him.
Is he still down?
Dude, he dropped like a stone.
Hell yeah.
Keep on him, I might see a little movement. Just a little wiggle. If he tries to get up, you put another one in him. Just moving a little. That was a freaking excellent shot. Wow. What a shot across that canyon. Last light.
That was pretty rewarding.
That's it. Dude, you got him.
Hell yeah.
I knew that if he turned and then stopped and just stopped moving for a second, I knew with the rifle, with all of the shooting that I had done with that gun and that optic over the past couple of days, that I knew that if he turned and stopped, if I put that fire dot reticle right on his shoulder and pressed the trigger and did good fundamentals of marksmanship, that I'd get the hit that I wanted. For me, I really enjoyed the stock getting here. After hiking halfway up this hill to get to him, the shot was almost anticlimactic. And I absolutely could not have done it without Dave from FTW guiding us in, spotting the animals, doing the work to get me into a position where I could just execute the fundamentals of marksmanship. Because really, at the end of the day, that's all it was I lined up the crosshairs and I pressed the trigger in a way that didn't disturb my sight picture.
There's a little bit of pump going on, coming up this hill and trying to get into position, trying to get the heart rate back.
Heart rate up, and then try to do that, you know, doing those deep breaths to get your heart rate back down. But once we got up here and I was able to lay down in possibly one of the most uncomfortable spots that I've ever laid my body on.
You didn't find a cactus, that's a good thing.
I looked, I was glad there was enough light to look for a cactus before I laid my ass down.
Oh, great shot. This is when the work starts.
Yeah, now we gotta go drag that guy out of there.
We have to walk all the way down there and then up and get him all the way down and bring him back to here.
Oh, okay,
It's the only way.
Piece of cake, let's do it.
Actually, I might know a guy.
Oh, fantastic. Like I said, it's hard for me to sum up this experience in a way that is, I can't do it in one sentence. This was fantastic. I learned more about how to use a rifle as a precision instrument than I ever have in my life. I had an absolute blast going out after that deer, and I can honestly say that if people are thinking about coming to FTW Ranch to take a class, to take a course, they absolutely should.
It's a gathering of like-minded individuals. You know, we all like guns, we all like to shoot, we all enjoy hunting, and it's just nice to get together in a comfortable environment like this and share all those experiences and learn from one another.
Thank you so much. I appreciate
welcome.
your instruction. I can honestly say that I would not have been able to make that shot on that deer without your help, so thank you.
I'm glad it worked out for us. A little bit longer and this thing is gonna start shedding its velvet. I mean, it's a beautiful deer by itself,
Deer, yeah.
but to catch one just in velvet, just like this, is kind of a special thing. You got good dog catchers, nice coddles, good beam length. Man, congratulations.
Thank you. This is awesome. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome.